Hello?
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 So that link is not working.
Which link?
The one you just posted, and then the link through my email, it's just coming up, page not found.
Hang on.
So all I did was make an empty shell of a React,
Okay,
and then I put it on the GitHub. I deleted the folders, like components, server, and put it on there and had them clone it. I mean, I don't.
Okay.
So then we're working on that.
How are you? I'm keeping the work separated.
What do you mean? Well, when it posts into my GitHub, it says who's on the commits. It says really Christian's the only one that's put anything in there, and it says like his email or his username on his commit. I didn't do a branch like a block because I didn't know, and I'm just bringing it in and looking at it.
Okay, because it's so much easier using the branches. Because one person can't mess up everybody else's code.
Right. I was looking at that's what I wanted to talk to you about the other day was how to do that. They have to clone it before you set up the branch.
You can do it either which way. That was the instructions on the one I was trying to get. And you got the invite, right?
Yeah, and it comes up 404 not found.
That's crazy.
So
Do you have a GitHub account?
but I kind of wanted to talk to you because you know the one that you put in the link earlier with it's built up more, you know, it had API, you know, it had more. I think we were doing a little less than that. Is that okay for the project?
Oh, yeah, that was just, that
Because
had everything a person could use, and then you can just take out what you're not using.
I mean, you know, I mean, some of the, we don't want to overwhelm the team,
Right.
so to speak, so that, and I'm trying not to copy and paste, like, you know, I don't know. It's proving challenging because I mean, you know, I'm not that great yet at remembering all. I can, you know, remember the order of the functions. I don't necessarily remember every single thing that goes inside of them, but I know what they're for, you know.
Sure.
But
It's
uh,
okay to copy and paste. We all do it. There's
yeah,
no way we're going to create everything from scratch if I can find it somewhere else.
right. So I'm just trying to get my feet under me with I guess, you know, I've had to, you know, it's good. It's a good learning experience for me because I'm new and don't know how to do some of this stuff, and I'm being asked to show other people, you know, uh, and walking through GitHub and cloning and adding commits and pushing and pulling. And I think I spent an hour on the phone last night with Christian, you know, getting that orientated. So I think now he's got the steps for that for the GitHub.
I appreciate you doing that because I'll tell you what,
I just
best coders even have trouble with GitHub until they get really used to it.
yeah, and I just didn't know how the branches work, and I initially put the project in there and put a server file in it, like just built the server because I was just gonna have, I just figured it, you know, front end, but then I'm like, well, you know, if I take that out, that gives him a piece of the puzzle to do.
Right.
right? Because I didn't even think about that, because I've never done this as, you know, I've never really done this from front to end anyway. Um, but yeah, so I went back in, took that out of there, and I took the branches off because I didn't know how that messes with the, like, the main file.
Right. And that's the thing. If you don't know, it can mess up, and
Right.
I apologize on behalf of Learning Source that you all didn't get a whole lot of exposure to get and GitHub before now. That was one of my biggest complaints, if you will, even in my interview with Learning Source, when they asked me what the biggest problem was with teaching software developers, I said, no one requires them to use GitHub fast enough and early enough in the program. And I got here and realized it was the same thing.
Right.
I mean, it's hard to learn Git and GitHub while you're also trying to finagle all of the pieces and get the project together. I don't care how you do it, Rebecca, honestly, as
Okay.
long as if
I
you've
just
got
don't
it together in
know,
your head,
you
that's
know, and I
fine.
don't know, so, you know, the struggle with the walkthrough #2. So then I'm like, you know, let's just do that project as our project and get through it. We're gonna
You can
get
do
through
that.
it and make it run, you know?
You can
And
do that. And you do know all of the codes available, right? For that?
yeah, and I mean, I had that walkthrough too running. It wasn't, you know, and I guess it's just, I just, you know, I'm just like, okay, we'll just do that. So it's the basics. I just don't know with the whole outline of everything. It, you know, are we gonna be able to deploy, you know? I mean, we should be able to do everything we need to do with that, right?
That's exactly right. That's a reason I put that together, that worked through too. I was making sure that it met all of the requirements.
Okay.
And if y'all want to use it, that's fine. I've told a couple other people, that's fine, because the walkthrough is hard enough. And that was one of my messages to you guys is, if it's
Well,
hard to even follow step by step in a walkthrough, you can see why it's so hard from scratch.
yeah,
And I didn't want you all to have to do that, because very few of us, and even in the industry, do that, because so many of us will just do one little piece and then put it
right.
together. So I think it's a little bit ambitious to think that students can get to this point, never having made a full stack, and all of a sudden from scratch do that, because that's just a little too much to ask.
Mhm.
And I don't care if you use that walkthrough too, as long as you all can get that running and everybody feels like they had a little bit of um, hands in it and feel a little bit better coming out of
Yeah.
this than they did coming in.
And I
I'm
mean,
perfectly satisfied with that.
right. And you know, I'm helping, you know, I'm learning and I'm using it as a, you know, I just, I thought, I figured I would be kind of the low totem pole, you know, like kind of being like, hey, what, you know, where does it, but, so I'm trying to walk through on the Trello board, like if I, um, so like this Christian's doing the server stuff, and if, like, he pushed code last night and I'm reading through it and I'm trying to talk to him about it and like throw it on the Trello board as something to remember to do.
Be sure and send me the link to yours, which y'all are doing, which one of your walkthroughs that you all are pushing to, so I can watch.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah, I can look too.
I got that right here.
Yeah, just pop it in the chat or in Slack.
Okay.
That way, if anybody says, hey, I'm stuck on line 14 of something, if it's pushed, I can see it and I can help.
Do you want me to send it to you or just put it in the channel?
You can just put it in the channel.
Okay.
That way everybody have it.
But we haven't heard from Isaac for a couple of days. So. And I was trying to,
Y'all just move right on.
yeah,
Between you and me, this is his second time. He failed last term. Because he didn't do anything.
yeah, he just wanted to set up the database. And that's all he wants to do. I think. I don't know. I don't know if we're gonna see him again this week or not.
I mean, if he's not
He
contributing.
was
I
in
didn't
our
even know
meeting
that.
on, he was in our meeting on Monday night,
Oh, okay.
but all he kept saying was, I'm just gonna do the database. And so I'm like, okay, so we gave that to him, but we haven't heard anything, haven't seen him. I don't think he's cloned the repo, or I don't know if he's even got it on his machine or not, so.
Okay, I'll find out because I have a.
Well, no, he
one-
hasn't cloned, he hasn't put anything, because all I can see is Christian stuff, so.
Okay, and you all just move right on without him and I'll pull him out of the group if I
Yeah.
see he's not pushing, because that happened last time. Because last thing I'm gonna allow is you and Christian to work your butts off and somebody else pass and not haven't, contributed equally, because
Yeah.
I hate group projects when I'm in them for that reason too.
Yeah, and I know that they both know that I'll take, I walk them through like step by step if I need to, for anything that I know.
Right.
I've been spending time, answering their, trying to keep the big ones for you.
Absolutely.
Uh, so, okay.
So no, that's fine. I knew you had your shit together, pardon my language, because I've been watching everything in the Slack. And
I'm
I'm really
trying.
proud of you.
I
for
just
stepping
don't,
out.
you open this up and then you're like, oh, where do I start? Like it's kind of like, and there's so many things about React. There's so many things about just plain everything about it that I still don't, I still don't even know. Um, but
I learn every day myself. I
yeah,
learn every day.
and that's part of the reason why I wanted to do this is because you know, I just like continuing to use my brain to do things and try to find out new things. So,
And I appreciate that. I have MS, so that can affect your brain.
yeah,
The reason I code a little bit every day is because that's good for my cognitive ability, because there's so much puzzles putting together with coding. So
Mhm.
it really has helped me with my MS tremendously.
Yeah,
So, and I appreciate anybody, especially other women that are really, staying in the game and trying to up their skills and up their game. Because I
yeah.
tell you, if you get in
I,
this field, you'll never
I,
want for a job.
yeah, I just feel like I'm late to the game. Like, so I've been driving forklift. I mean, I have a good job. I drive in forklift, but it's like I'm constantly, I started learning German. And then I start taking little classes for this, a
Yeah.
class for that, because I can't stand to just be there, just, you know, I guess just working
You're
without
not
having
late
to
to the
think
game.
about anything. You don't, I
How old
mean,
are you? Can I ask you how old you
yeah,
are?
I just turned 40.
I'll be
So,
62 in December.
yeah,
I just started coding in 2015, 7 years ago. So I was
oh, okay,
55 when I started learning it.
okay. So I may be able to get somewhere with this.
Oh, you absolutely will. And in all of my experience and all the experience of everyone I've ever worked with, women are better at this
Yeah.
as a general rule.
Well,
We're
I've
able
heard
to
that
do it.
about all kinds of things. Women are
Well,
better at
we're better
welding.
than most everything, but
Yeah.
but coding, it just seems to make sense to us because we don't have a lot of testosterone making us all competitive. We try to figure it out and make sure
Yeah.
it makes sense, and we take the time to do that. So no, I should you stay in this and keep practicing, and I'll help you when you're ready to start looking, even if it's
Yeah.
just contracting gigs to get your feet in a
Oh,
door. I'll
yeah.
help
I,
you.
I know. I get like, because I'm like, I didn't even get my profile finished all the way because I want to focus on this.
Yeah.
And I'm working, 50, 60 hours a week, and I take care of my grandson or my
Wow.
stepdaughter's kid.
Wow.
So I'm like, ugh. And I just feel like if I can get my foot in the door with some of it and get going and stay in it a little more, you know.
Absolutely. It will definitely, you'll be able to use this and move into this
Yeah.
because there is such a shortage of it. Like you said, forklift driver, that is a great job. It absolutely is.
It's wearing on they're
It will
saying,
wear on you.
yeah, they're saying I got some form of arthritis now, so.
See,
Um,
that worries me when you said that, because I look at people and say, that's a great job. How long do you think your body will allow you to do that?
right, yeah, well, and I've been on it for what? I've only been on that truck 3 years, but they work, yeah, 12 hours a day, 7 days a week, and it's rough. I don't know how some of them guys have been there for 25 years, but
Yeah, I'll help you get your foot in the door. There's a lot of companies that come to me all the time wanting me to send them my best students. That's always been the case. And I will help you with that and mentor you all along the way, because I believe we got to look out for each other.
Yeah.
We need to take care of each other, because
yeah, and I think I think the mood kind of swung in our group a little bit. And I don't know, I think Christian and Isaac had been talking. So I'm hoping Isaac can just, pick it up and join in and want to get through it without getting, I think he's just having an obstacle. You know what I mean?
well, he's so
Just-
busy in his personal life. I know that next month he's getting married,
Oh,
and
geez.
that's why he didn't have time the last 6 weeks. So I told him, I thought it might be best if he set this one out and start in 3 weeks, because between his job and getting ready for the wedding and everything, he was doing all of his one-on-ones and all of his coding and everything in his car,
Yeah.
because he's so, everything's
Yeah.
so crazy. So, I was surprised to see him turn right around and come back again. But, you guys have really jumped in there, you and Christian. Y'all have been working on it since before the course even started. So don't let anything ruin y'all's momentum with that, because I've been bragging on you and him about how well everybody's doing. So yeah, you do what you need to. And if you need my support and anything, you just reach out and let me know, even if it's privately, because I want you to get the best experience you can from this, because I know how valuable this skill set is. It is a life changer. I mean, I want you to get the best you can out of it.
Yep. I'm trying. There's so much out there too. If you just search,
Oh, yeah.
And we're using a model, but I want to change it in certain ways so that, there's certain things I want to add and all this, and there's just so much, so many different ways to go about it.
Right.
So,
I absolutely know that. And if you have any questions, you can ping me on Slack and just do a quick screen recording of what you're looking at and what you're trying to do. That way I can see it, and it helps me a lot to provide resources for you.
mhm. Okay.
Did you do the, I'm looking at your inventory app. Did you do the MPX Create React? Yes, you did. Okay, I
Yes.
see that there. So this looks really good. You did a great job with this. So no, everything's looking really good. So y'all just hang in there, keep your enthusiasm, and keep me in the loop between you and me if Isaac is dropping the ball a little bit, because he knows I'm paying attention because of what happened last time.
Yeah.
So, I'm just trying to make sure he gets through it. But like I told him, I'm not going to pass you just because you're here either.
Right.
I don't believe in that, because by passing you and you getting your certificate, that's me saying, I feel like you learned enough to move on. And I've got to be able to stand by that.
Right. And now okay, so we're at the week 2 that will submit Sunday. Now the week 1, I think I totally missed that whole, because there was a whole second section that I didn't like the week 1 hands-on activity part, because I only did what was in the LMS. And I think that when I seen that post on there, and I haven't seen it again, there was a whole list of things that we were supposed to have done week 1. And I think we were just like trying to get through the walkthrough.
No, I took that off because that's what they Learning Source had published for me to use, and I'm like, they don't even have to worry about that stuff right now. So I
Yeah.
took that back off because I want you all to be able to focus on what you're doing, because you're not behind on anything. You've got 100% of everything on yours. I'm looking at you right here.
Yeah.
So
I know
no,
I missed a couple of the stand-ups last week, but
that's okay. You know, you only have to do 4 or 5 a week. That's getting you in the habit of doing that, because most of us do this remotely when we're software developers.
mhm,
And you'll have to do a stand-up every workday, and that's not even graded. That's more for me to expose you to what really happens in the industry. So that's not graded. It's just, that's how we communicate about where we are on projects. So I wanted y'all to get used to that.
yeah.
So that's what that was about.
Okay, now in the week, end of week 1, they want us to have at least one data set in the, so we're each gonna basically have our own database that we hook to it.
Okay.
Is that sound okay? Does that sound
No,
right?
that's fine.
Or
And then
should,
when you go to submit one, it'll only hold one database in here. So you'll have to decide whose is going to be the one for
Yeah.
the formal project.
I mean, just so we have the, like the picture or whatever we have.
Oh,
to stick with
absolutely.
it. We can just do
Absolutely.
it
People can
individually.
practice it, but only push one up here to the main project so it doesn't jam it up and lock it.
Right, yeah, that's why we need to get with Isaac and find out.
Yeah.
Because that's what he wanted to do, so,
Yeah, that's great to say I'm gonna build the database, but if he doesn't know how it ties in with the server and pulls into the client, that's not helping.
right.
Yeah. So
Yeah, he
have my
could,
meeting anyway with
yeah,
him.
yeah, when I've been working on getting him to, getting his walkthrough, for his own individual walkthrough number 2. Still going, so,
I think he rushes. I see a lot of, well, I copied it exactly the way you gave it to me. Well, no, if you did, it would work. I mean, you know, I'll see punctuation misspelling and stuff like that. I don't know if is because he's so rushed for time,
yeah,
or if he's just, you know, a little distracted right now, but
it could
you
be.
know, it's all there and the actual code's there, so it should be doable for anybody walking through it, because, you know, that I have the code out there for you in the separate repository. But yeah, he struggles a little bit with, he gets frustrated because he's like, man, I got 15 minutes. Let me jump in here and get in the car and do this. And that's just not how it works. Takes that long, get sit back up again.
Right, yeah,
But, you know, so I want him to do well, but I also know that there's no way I could recommend him for a job if he can't even.
keep your
I tell
mind,
people
keep your
this, if
mind
you
on
can't follow
task.
what I gave you step by step and the code, you know, that's a problem.
Yeah,
So,
I mean,
yeah,
well, and that's where I kind of got like, oh my goodness. Because I got through it and then I'm watching and I'm like, I think Christian does that too. He just don't read it. He's just like, why ain't it working? I think, you know, like if you look at the error code, I don't know.
it tells you what in the
That's
error.
like, isn't that a lot of times your basic job at first is get, you know, you got to get all those kinks worked out, right?
You do, and you have to know how to read that error code and say it's in the server.js line 14, character 27. It'll tell you where it's at.
Right.
I mean, you know, when he was like, "Oh, I'm doing it, it's not working," I said, "Yeah, but you're not in the server folder."
Yeah. So,
He said, "It didn't say that." I said, "Yeah, I did. It
yeah.
really did." So, yeah, you're right. And again, guys are more prone to doing that. You
Yeah.
know, they're very bull in
I
the
mean,
china shop, bust through
I-
it, and it's not
I
working.
imagine though, the more you do it, then you eventually you pick it up, you know, or
That's
not,
right.
maybe, but
That's right. I do a lot of guided learnings like this walkthrough. I've built a lot of curriculums from start to finish, and it's all based on every lesson is creating some kind of project with it so that you can see it, because by the time you're done, you've touched it and done it so many times, it's habit now.
right.
You'll be able to
Right.
look at it and know what went wrong, and I can tell you, nothing teaches you more about this than trying to show someone else how to do it like you are, because
Yeah, I
you have to
bet.
figure it out, don't you?
Yeah, because then I'm like, hold on. Oops, sorry. Wait, try this way.
Yes. Yeah, that's why I'm glad to see you doing that, because I know that's how I learn best, because when I have to figure out how to show a student how to do something or show them another way because that didn't make sense, I get better and I get better
Yeah.
and better and better at it. So, I tell people, like those walkthroughs, do that same walkthrough over and over again until you can almost do it without reading it. Then you'll
Right.
know you know how to do it.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just,
I
it's just,
would like to get through I mean, eventually so I still want to go through the other one, but I just don't think for the team.
no, not for the team. When I saw that, I'm like, no, I gotta stop this madness.
Yeah. But I want to get through the post that you posted yesterday for like the project
Yeah.
that has the API, it has a lot more in it. I still want to, I still want to
Sure.
mess with that one, but I'm spending my time, I want to make sure that this one is
Oh,
where I want it
absolutely.
to be.
And when you're done and when you're wanting to practice on something else, or even when you leave, reach out to me, or, just follow my GitHub at Dr. Vicky. I have all kinds of tutorials and lessons in there that I'm putting out there every single day.
Mhm.
And everybody's welcome to clone those and play with them and use the code. And because anytime you get your hands in the code like that, you get better and better and better.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, I'll sit down at night and start a web page just from scratch, just to see how quick I can get it up and running without looking at something, because it's one, I like to do it. It's my hobby too. That
Right.
helps
Yeah.
me. But I want it to be that second nature. And
That's what this is becoming to me. It's like I come home from work, I shower, I come in here and and my wife is getting mad at me because she's like, you're spending all your time in there. I'm like, well, okay. So,
Yeah. Yeah, that's what Dana says, my wife too. She's like, man, she says, give your brain a break. You work all the time. I said, no, it just looks the same because my hobby's on the computer. So it looks the same as when I'm working, but it's my
right.
hobby too.
That's why I say, like, I keep telling her, if I get a job doing this and I'm in it more as a regular job, and I actually enjoy being in front, seeing this
Yeah.
stuff work. It's cool. As far as like, versus my current job, I'm just like, I go in there, I'm just like, oh, it's dark, there's no windows, it's not. But I'm like, if I am able to get a job eventually, I hope,
Oh,
and
you
do
will.
this more frequently and be able to see the outcomes, then I will be more apt to probably put it away, go do something, but I want to
Absolutely.
get through it.
Absolutely. It took me a while to where I didn't feel like I constantly had to be thinking about it to figure stuff out. It took me a while, but now I'm always trying to create new
Yeah.
projects for myself. I've cloned Facebook, I've cloned LinkedIn. Um,
Oh,
that's a good thing to practice on, is find a website or a web app like that and figure out what makes it tick and try to build
oh,
it yourself.
yeah.
That is
See, that
fun.
would be great.
That is fun, fun, fun. I'm not gonna lie. If you look at my GitHub repository, you'll see a Amazon clone,
Uh-huh.
and you can try that one too. And I have the instructions for that too. Oh my gosh, that's fun. And I even have
Yeah.
the logos and everything on there. So that's a lot of fun to do. And that looks good in
Yeah.
your portfolio.
Yeah, and I think that's great. That's the stuff that's why I like doing that, like getting in there and breaking it down. Just like this one we're doing now, it's just seeing where things are connected from
Yes.
folder to folder, from server to front. See, I don't think I've had, we haven't had that full thing up to this point, really. It's all pieces, you know.
Yes. Very segmented.
Yeah, now.
not how this one goes with the last one. So that makes it a little hard to be able to get to this point and now put it all together because you haven't done that. So, but
Right.
when you start doing some of those clones and all of that, oh my gosh.
Yeah,
I mean, that is so much fun to do, is to try to get it to look just like it. And
Mhm.
then once you have that, now you have a template, you can build an e-commerce site for anybody and just change the logos, the images. And
yeah,
now you have your template, see, so that's always a lot of fun.
yeah. Is there no copyright? Isn't there like rules? Is there rules against that stuff?
No, you can, Amazon is really big about letting you do those things. And as long as you say it's an Amazon clone, then when you use that code that you just cloned it from, that's your code. You wouldn't want to give a client their images, but you could take that same clone, change the pictures and the logos and use it. Absolutely. There's no laws against that.
Huh,
No,
okay.
I
I don't
mean,
want to get in no
that's,
trouble.
no, that's a lot of fun because see, code, if it's out there in GitHub, or you created it while you were looking at their site, that's not their code. That was yours.
Oh, I see. Yeah,
And you know how to right click and inspect the screen, right?
yeah,
Everybody's code's right there.
right.
So yeah, that what's copyrighted is, their logos and things.
Yeah,
Yeah, when you
Hmm.
can inspect and see the actual code, that's not copyright.
right. Huh. Okay.
All right,
I'll have to think of some more things I want to do when I get done with this.
absolutely. Absolutely. And there's a lot of tools I'll give you too before you leave. I have extensions on your browser.
Mhm.
I have a extension that's called Web Developer. I'll send it to you. And with it, there's all kinds of tools. When you click on it, it opens up, it lets you actually look at the code, outline the code on somebody's website, resize it, use the tools, validate the HTML so you can play with it. I mean, it is amazing
Huh,
the things that you can do with that.
huh. Okay.
That makes it a lot
Yeah,
easier.
isn't there just so much that there's just so much, it's like a big open book that I've only just got the first couple pages done.
That's exactly it. And I've got about 5 minutes of it done because it changes so fast anyway.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely. So that's not it's never going to be stagnant. That's for sure.
Mhm.
It's never going to be a stagnant industry because everybody's changing it so often. I'm getting ready to send that link. Oh, here it is. Yep. I'm going to send you that in Slack so you can
Okay.
see it and put it on your browser extension too.
Okay.
You'll see what I mean by all the tools it has. Oh my gosh. I only found out about 8 months ago and I was like, where have I been my whole life?
Right,
I was doing all this stuff from scratch and there's all these tools. I mean, I can even
right.
resize logos and images and things for my website right from that extension. So,
Yeah. Hmm.
but I'm gonna let you go so I can get ready for my next one. If you need me,
Yep.
reach out, kind of let me know what's going on with Isaac.
Yeah, yeah, I will let you know. I've been chatting with Christian a little bit this morning, so.
Yeah, I'm glad to see him finally stepping up. I think it just was scary for him.
Yeah, I think he's worried, like he just kept messing, like not getting that walkthrough. And I think he's just like he was kind of giving up, and I was like, well, we're gonna get through it. We can get through this. But
Yes.
I don't want them to think that I'm gonna do it all either, just
Well,
because
no, because you could
they
commit
know
the one
mine.
you've already done.
Yeah, they know that was running, so they're like, okay, and I'm like, no, I'm gonna try to get you to like be able to get this whole project running as a piece.
Oh, absolutely. They need to.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that people would like to just use yours and go, but the thing about that is they're never going to learn it if they do it that way, and they can't use it if they can't even
Right.
follow the walkthrough.
Well, and I suppose if he doesn't see, whatever it is, I don't know, but at least I'm learning. I'm
That's right.
using this as a learning, it's kind of like being able to do something backwards too when you're teaching somebody else. So once
It
you know
absolutely is.
that forwards and backwards, then that, then you really know it.
That's right, because I call that reverse engineering, looking at it and I'm like, okay, now I've got it there. Now I've got to work backwards and figure out what I did and how I could show somebody else that.
Yep. Yep.
I
So,
mean, so no, you're doing all the right things, and just reach out if you need absolutely anything, because
yeah,
I'm pretty much a workaholic. My wife's in Cleveland right now, so I'm really working.
yeah.
So just I'm proud of you. You're going to do just fine. And I would let you know. I think you can tell I'm pretty upfront. If somebody's not doing something that they need to, I'm going to let them know, because I'm not doing you any favors if I don't.
Hmm.
So I want you to be able to feel good when you walk out of here that you were able to do that. And like you were able to help others too, which is really great.
Yeah,
I
I'm
mean,
trying. I'm
that's
just,
what people look for on software teams, is people that can help their teammates, because everybody's good at one thing or another and no one's good at everything. So that's just
yeah.
perfect that, you're able to do that.
I just hope I'm coming through with enough, you know what I mean? Like, there's so much more.
Oh, no, you're fine. The basic things that are on that template I gave you is what the full stack is, as long as you have the front and back and it works. That's all we're looking for right now.
Yeah. How do they go when they get into like groups like that? I mean, when they're doing, are they just doing a little bit of that code at a time?
What they're
Or,
doing is when they pull the branches down, they work. Each person usually has a feature or part of the web app or web application that they're working on. Like the authentication or building the back end of the database. Everyone on the software team has something that they're assigned to work on, and they work on that a little bit every day and then push that to their branch up in the main GitHub so everybody else can see it. And then when it's working, you merge that back to the main one.
Mhm.
So that's how it works. And that's why the stand-ups are so important, to let everyone know where you are on yours, because it may be holding up something else that someone else needs to do. But that's
Yeah.
that's usually how it goes. Everyone has the main ones out there, but everybody's assigned a branch,
Yeah,
and then they work on their branch, which has everything in it that the full one does, but it's not changing the code in the master unless you merge it.
right.
So, but that's a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. So it's kind of like what Christian, he's like, hey, I turned this on, but it's not, there's nothing showing. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
that's because I'm still working on the components side of things. It'll be, just give me a minute and I'll send something.
Yeah, they think you're just supposed to push a button and it's gonna all magically be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's just not how that works. Oh, people are funny. I'm not gonna lie. Oh, but yeah, you are doing perfectly fine. You have your head on straight. How people are, and you're wise to the ways of the world, and how some people will work hard and they won't.
Mhm.
But when you're on a software team that's getting paid a lot of money to do this, you usually don't have this problem.
Right. Yeah.
And
I would think not. I mean,
yeah,
but you know what? We have it at work, these, you know, these
oh
guys,
yeah,
these guys are making good money to drive, just do whatever. And it's probably going to be everywhere
oh yeah.
soon.
I mean, and it's gotten worse because of the pandemic. Now people don't want to work at all.
Yeah.
But when you're software and you have your project manager, like what I'm doing right now, can see the code in GitHub every day. I know who's working and who's not when I'm looking at that.
Mhm.
And if we're not meeting deliverables, somebody's not going to get paid,
Right.
because I'm going to have to jump in and write that code for them. And I can do that, but that's not what I'm not gonna do that and pay him.
Right.
So, yeah, this is how we do it. It's kind of piecemeal. And, you like to work on your own branch, so you're not messing up the main one, and only one person has the authority to approve all the changes and pull them into the main branch so that it doesn't mess up everything that's already working.
Okay, so can I go in there and set the branch? Put that in now or
If you want to, but since y'all have already started, I wouldn't do it,
no? Okay.
because you'd almost have to start the whole thing over again.
Oh, okay.
And if you can ever get that one open that I gave you all access to, you'll see the instructions of how all that works anyway with the branches.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I didn't know, because I had never done collaborative work, so I didn't.
Right.
I mean, I was reading about it, about how one person has to, and that could be any one of the group, I think,
Yeah,
would have to read it and be okay with it.
absolutely, because you want to make sure that it's not going to mess up
Yeah.
anything else you've already got going on.
But I just figured it's just me, pretty much gonna be me and Christian, I figure, so.
Yeah, I think you're
didn't-
pretty right on that one.
Yeah, I didn't think that it was gonna be too bad of a deal, because I might have to go in and change some words or something that he's got in there to make it
Right.
like. I'm trying to get him to look at that, you know. So, and I don't even probably have all mine matching, you know, all that
Right.
done yet, but.
But you'll be fine.
Mhm. Okay, all right, I'll let you go.
And if you need anything, just shoot me a quick Slack and send me a screenshot or something so I can jump in there and help you.
Okay. Yeah, all I'm looking for now is like making my submit button default so that you can't submit blank. It's gonna alert you if you have a blank field.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's very important.
Yeah. So, I
Perfect.
mean, yeah, so. And then we're styling and so you can bootstrap, you can use just, because I put the bootstrap in there like the walkthrough did, and you can do like colors and you can do just like you do on a regular with bootstrap in
Absolutely.
React that way.
Absolutely.
Okay,
It just
Yeah.
gives you so much of it to start with so that you don't have to write every single line of code. You can go into what's there and then change the colors or change the font from what's already there. So you don't have to do it all from scratch.
right, okay. Yep. It sounds good. I didn't
Oh.
even see like that until I seen the bootstrap on there. I didn't know that. I guess I don't know a whole lot of React because, well, we just have it for a couple of weeks,
Right.
you know, and then I didn't see it. I actually kind of like Angular, the flow of it better than I do. I don't know though, but I really only got a couple of weeks of that too, you know, so.
Yeah, those are the main ones. React's the number one that's used the most
Right.
in the industry because it's been around a little longer than Angular. Angular works better when you're using Java than React does.
Oh, it does.
So there's things like that that's helpful. If you're coding the Java instead of JavaScript,
Mhm.
Angular definitely works better.
And I
So-
don't really even know what the difference is, you know, I don't know that do we go through any of that in our?
I don't
I
think.
know like my core JavaScript is like, I was reading about, you know, how people learn React and all the other platforms, but before they ever even learn like a base language,
Right.
you know, and that's how I feel. Like I went in and took a test for how much I scored, like 55%, but
What
says
you,
that-
you didn't take Java, you took, you had a
JavaScript.
track you could pick, you picked JavaScript.
Yeah,
with your courses. And that's better for web and web apps. Java itself is much, much harder to learn. It's not user friendly. It's not very forgiving at all, like JavaScript is. And it's better for other things like data analysis, those types of things, and it's better for cybersecurity. So everything has something that it's designed for. So Java was one of the first languages I learned, and it about killed me. It
Yeah,
was so hard to learn. Everything else just seemed simple after that. It's the hardest to learn. Python's the easiest to learn,
yeah,
but Python is not used as much as JavaScript either. So, you know, you want to have the best chance and then learn the others just for fun. You know, Python's
Yeah.
great for, again, data analysis and building mobile games and things like that. Python's really good for, but JavaScript is really the #1 language when you're building webs and web apps and software like this that run on webs and web servers. So you picked the right path there.
yeah.
Yep, I'm looking at it. Yeah, you've got, that's the path you were on. And what was this was FSW? Was that orientation on your transcript?
For what?
It looks like the very first thing that you did before coding from scratch. The letters
Yeah,
on
I
it,
think it was
was
orientation.
that orientation? Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah, 'cause
There was
it's
like a
not-
week of orientation or something.
Yeah, because it's not labeled like the rest of it. Okay, I got a call coming in.
Okay,
All right.
all right.
bye-bye.
Sounds good. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Hello.